Hey, it's Jessica Goose here, news lead with RealAgriculture.com and Real Ag Radio. We are at FarmTech 2020, and joining me right now is one of the breakout session keynote speakers, Joe Pillitteri. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm excellent. Breakout session keynote speaker. That's a new thing on the resume now. So.
Exactly, right? I mean, you have definitely been a keynote speaker at multiple ag events. I saw you just last month at the Prairie Cereal Summit. Little known fact is that you are a comedian,
yes.
and you made our entire room, you made the entire room laugh.
That's
and
nice of you.
And crack, which was, it was hilarious.
That's
so if
awesome.
you didn't go to PCS, you
missed out because it was in Banff.
Yeah, so next time, I guess, when you see Joe at an ag conference or at any conference, go see him. He is hilarious.
Thank you.
Today, you were talking about agriculture and about how with your family, there's some good times, there's some bad times, there's some ugly times, but you know, when it comes to your mental health, you really do need to kind of focus on it. And if not, it'll kind of overcome what's kind of happening. So first off, Joe, kind of how have you incorporated mental health with your business?
So I had a breakdown in 2008. Full disclosure, I had a full breakdown in 2008. Had bought the business a year before, and in 2008, as everyone remembers, the economy just kind of tanked. And so did the business, or at least I felt it did. And I did this thing where I just start crying every day and not go to work. And really, as someone who never really believed in anxiety or depression, all of a sudden I'm experiencing it, and I can't get my stuff together, for lack of a better term, and just was going to self-destruct. And sort of three things that got me out of that is my wife and my kids. You know, it sounds so cliche, like to show your love for family. But as I was crying every day, my wife would tell the four kids to tell me that they loved me, and I knew that because my oldest would come up and go like, "I love you, Daddy." My second oldest would go like, "I love you, Daddy." You know, my son Johnny would come up to me, he's like, "I love you, Daddy." And my youngest would walk up to me and say like, "Daddy, Mommy said to say that I love you." So
it's a classic, especially being the youngest.
So it was our 10th anniversary that year, and we were supposed to go to Italy. We were supposed to book a trip to Italy. And I said, well, that's off, right? I owe the bank this much money. They're not going to be pleased if I take a trip to Italy if I don't pay them back. And kind of went back and forth. And we were at a soccer tournament, and my wife is talking to me, and she says, "I booked the trip." And I said, "What do you mean you booked the trip?" And she said, "I booked our anniversary trip." And I said, "That's insane. I've got, for lack of a better term, that's insane. We can't spend $6,000. She said, "I'll take care of the money. You know, that I love you, and I trust you, and I have faith in you. And no matter what happens here, you're still going to be, you know, an important part of our lives. So let's not remember that." Because it got really low for me. Like my lowest points were unspeakably low. But I took for whatever reason, just those words, that action, helped me a little bit. And then I had a dad who, you know, you grew up on a farm with my dad, farming with my dad, and you know, fathers and sons, we'd butt heads all the time. Yeah. I was never doing really anything right, and in retrospect, I wasn't. And Dad would come in every day and go like, he would just tell me that, you know, "Joe, fear won't get you. Not taking action will get you." If you could think about father advice, it's, you know, when they say get up every morning and go to work, that's really what he was telling me, that you know, if you worry every day and you think there's going to be an auction out there, then there's going to be an auction out there. So there's that. And then I became really involved with the Terry Fox Foundation. My daughter was doing a project on Terry Fox, and I started reading this book that she had. And I'm reading about this kid who's 18 years old and loses his legs, and we've all heard his story a million times, but for whatever reason, it really spoke to me at that moment. And you know, he's in the prime of his life. He's an athlete, all-star athlete, and then he loses his leg, and he was mad at the world. And then one night he's sitting in a hospital bed in Victoria, and he hears the cries of 4 and 5-year-old kids who don't even know what cancer is, and they're just sad that their mom and dad have left the hospital. And so he decided that night he was going to take action, for lack of a better term. And his mom knew there was no talking him out of it. And so I joined the run that year, and I raised, I know this is going national. I don't want to brag, but I raised $385 the first year. So
Yeah.
settle down, Jason. The cameraman's even like, holy man,
money,
that's
money.
crazy.
But since then, you've raised a lot.
Yeah, since then we've raised another $280,000
Wow.
or so. We did $110,000 last year. So Team Pilsy, we have a team that runs in Niagara on the Lake, and it's such a huge part of my life. But every time I'm running that race, I think about Terry Fox, and I think about however we think our problems are unfolding, that the perspective this person gave me is invaluable. It's one of those, it's like
Your aha moment.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, here at FarmTech, your topic of discussion was farming, it can make you crazy.
Yeah.
And kind of what you've said here already is that if you kind of keep thinking of that same thing that's going to happen on your farm, for the most part, bad things, right? Whether it's going to be, another continuous bad harvest, or machinery's not working properly, or you can't pay bills. It really is just going to eat you up.
Yeah.
How do you kind of separate yourself from that, other than just kind of keep on working, keep on persevering and going forward? Are there any other things that you've kind of looked into?
We really focus on a culture of positivity in our workplace, and we don't fake it. We legitimately ask about and care about everyone that works with us. We want them to want to come to work every day, and we want to feel the same way about them being there. So if there's problems, we talk constructively, directly about them. We don't have sidebar conversations. If I see two people whispering to each other, I point it out, because it's just not the place we want to have. And when times are good, you can ignore that. But we never ignore it, whether times are good or bad. So in our business, we do that. Personally, I have to go to the gym, 5 or 6 times a week, just to give myself a break where I'm doing my thing. I meditate 15 minutes every day. It's so funny how I talked about that this morning, and I had some growers saying that that they'd never thought about meditation, and now when they're on the combine, they'll do a self-guided meditation. And I said, like with auto steer, you're driving in a straight line for half an hour, and you don't have to have your hand on the wheel. You might as well. So
you're not near any hills or anything like that.
No,
but,
absolutely.
Probably do that with the combine off.
Yeah.
Or in your own home.
You went to the farm safety session. That's your problem. Now it's all, we got to play by the rules and not fall asleep in the cab of the combine.
We should try not to. But again, if you can do those kind of self check-ins, right? That helps in a big way. Now, also, again, like I mentioned at the beginning, you are a comedian.
Yes.
How does that play into everything?
Well, I'm hilarious is the key.
It's true.
I've loved performing. I always have. I started doing shows years ago, just like small charity shows, because it was a pretty safe way to get into comedy. Open mic nights can be kind of grueling and they can be scary, but I loved doing them. But I thought I need something to feel like there's a purpose to this, not because it wasn't my goal to be a professional stand-up comedian. I love what I do, but I love having this as part of my life. So I just started planning these small comedy shows, like 150 seaters, and the money would go to local charities that are important to us. And then now we plan our big fundraiser for Terry Fox, is a show that we do at Jackson Triggs Winery in Niagara on the Lake, and they donate everything there.
Wow.
As part of it, we raised, I think, $60,000 at that show last year.
Yeah.
It's a 550-seater outdoor event, and so then I do stuff like this when I can at events I want to. I love coming to stuff like this because it's not everyone here is not going through the motions. They're really invested in trying to make something better about their operations. So I love it. And
so how do you use comedy in your workplace?
So when I'm talking to people, there was a Dale Carnegie seminar I went to once, and it said, all other things being equal, people will work for people they like, and they'll do business with people that they like. And my mom used to say that if she wanted to get a point across, she would just be quiet to me. And she said, because the saddest thing was you'd be trying to make me laugh, and it was hard for me to
be quiet,
to be quiet and just not engage you. But I've always felt like I need to earn their respect, and I need to earn their admiration. And one of the ways I do that is telling jokes. Nothing's ever too serious. We have good-natured ribbing all the time. We've got staff in age range of 18 to 60, and so we try and plan a lunch maybe once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks with the staff, and shoot the breeze where nothing is ever too serious.
Good.
And everyone knows that they're appreciated too.
Yeah,
So.
and like you said, kind of having that safe space where everybody can talk and be open and don't have those kind of side conversations, because that can kind of lead to even more turmoil.
And you can ignore that for a while, and then when it finally surfaces, because it always surfaces, it's a lot worse than it would have been if you'd stopped it.
Yeah.
7 weeks ago.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Joe. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
As always, this is good.
This is great. I feel like I'm at Comic-Con for farms. This is awesome.
There you go. Well, thank
Awesome.
you again.
Thank you, Jessica.
I really appreciate it. And be sure to find out all of our FarmTech videos on our website, RealAgriculture.com.